If you're making a game, you probably want to know how to keep it securely backed up and saved, so that if your computer explodes or if you make some kind of catastrophic error, then all your hard work doesn't go up in smoke at the same time. Well, the solution to that problem, according to people much smarter than me, are Git and GitHub. But like, what is that, and how do you set it up, and what does it actually do? Hell if I know. I'm an idiot, but luckily I know a guy who does. Pontus Wittenmark, creator of the recently released point-and-click adventure game Justin Wack and the Big Time Hack. And even more luckily, Pontus has kindly offered to teach you and me how to set up Git game backups for free. I'll hand over to Pontus in a hot minute, but if you're following along with the view to set this up along with us, you'll just want to pause the video right now and do some quick prep first. 1, you need to install Git and create an account on github.com, and 2, you also want to install Visual Studio Code. There are links to all of that stuff in the video description. And lastly, just 3 little caveats and kind of explanations. 1, this is a basic tutorial because, again, I'm an idiot. There's a huge amount of functionality Git's capable of that we don't mention here. This is pretty much just about backing up your game and then being able to revert to older versions. 2, if you're new here, then I should just say that the game that this channel's devlog centres around is called The Biggleboss Incident, which is only really worth saying so that you don't get confused with any mentions of the word incident or whatever else you might see in my file system. And 3, we encountered a couple of weird issues setting this up on my end, which we then had to spend a fair bit of time troubleshooting. The good news for you is that you don't also have to fall into those traps. I've cut around any problems as best I can. But if we suddenly change clothes or my folder names change or whatever, then that's why. Okay, sorry, I know that's a lot of pre-flight checking. I know you just want to jump straight into the tutorial, but now we can actually get going. Right, over to Pontus.
We can start maybe by saying that the benefits of using something like Git to what you're doing now is that you will be able with Git to very easily mess about in your because we have the same setup, right? We both use Unity and AC, but once you're inside the Git system, you will be able to just like, okay, I want to undo all the changes that I made here. Just want to go back, you know, a while. You can go back even a week or see what's happened. And you know, if you're anything like me, and Unity, this is Justin Wack was the first Unity game I made, and I think Unity has been a very large learning curve for me. You know, I move around stuff and suddenly I change stuff and I don't understand what I've changed. But with Git, you can see like, okay, this has changed and that has changed, and I can roll back that change and keep that change.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty
useful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And also you no longer have to do the hard, you know, copies to your backup copies. Okay. Because yeah, that's one benefit as well, because now you will have one copy on your hard drive and another copy up in GitHub on the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this might be you know, a good time to bring up the difference between Git and GitHub. So Git is a version control system. So that just keeps your files, you know, manages your files so that you can do these rollbacks and you can see the changes between what you did now and what you did previously. Yeah. Yeah, and it also, maybe the primary goal of it was that if you and I are working on the same project, you know, we can merge our changes easily and don't step on each other's toes and get, you know, like merge conflicts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what we're using now is Git, and Git is a free open source software that anyone can use. So that will run on your machine locally, and but since we want the other benefit as well, you know, you not having to do backup copies, we also want to push it up to the internet. So, and that is where GitHub or GitLab or Azure DevOps or Bitbucket comes in.
Okay.
So those are just sites that can host, copies of your projects up on the web, so you can synchronize your code between them.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. Okay, so I think this is the best place to start. So we'll create, and my idea here is that we'll create a new repository, as it's called. You see the create repository button to the left there, the big green thingy. A repository is just a fancy word for a root folder of a project.
Okay.
So if we create this up on the internet, then we can drag it down to your local hard drive.
Right.
And then we can mess about a little with some text files, and you'll get the hang of this. And then, I hope that you take your whole project into this new folder. So from then on, all your whole game will be up on GitHub.
Okay. So should I click create repository now?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Given that the full name of the game is The Bigger Boss Incident, I might just make that the repository name. Makes sense to me.
That makes sense.
Cool.
And if I understand correctly, you're just like me. It's you're the only one working on this project, right?
It's just me. Yeah. So I guess private in that case, right?
Yeah. The difference between those are like not necessarily if you're alone or not. If it's public, it's an open source project.
Right. I see. Okay.
But so you definitely want private here, because you don't want people on the internet to see the contents of your files.
Yeah. Cool.
And then we must remember to, in the add git ignore, that thing, that file is a file that specifies which files should be ignored by Git. Right. And it's really good to have one of those from the get-go. So if you click that, I'm guessing there's one for Unity here. If you maybe filter on Unity.
Yeah.
Boom. Go for Unity there. I think that's going to help out a lot, because Unity, it generates a bunch of files that you don't really need version control.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
All right. Cool. So now we have a root folder for your project, and it contains one of those .gitignore. So what you're seeing here is basically a folder view. And you can actually go into that gitignore. If you click that gitignore file, you can see here that, okay, here's all the stuff we're telling Git to ignore from in your root folder.
Costume change coming up, and that is because Future Us has fixed an issue here that originally made everything break, and that's the naming of some of the libraries in this git ignore file. I will leave it to Pontus to explain.
Alrighty, so yeah, the only difference I have is that before line 5 to 11, there's not just a slash, it's slash and the project name /library. So on line 5, if you say backslash and the name of your project and then a backslash, then it should get it.
I see. So would it be like, as in written like that with spaces?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's the name of your folder rather than project. Yes, exactly like that.
Okay, so if I stick that here, like that?
Yes.
Do you think that will do it?
I think that will do it, but we should do the same for all of those lines. So,
I see. Yeah.
Line 6 through 11.
Do I need to commit changes? Yeah. So hopefully that made sense. You just need to edit the locations in the git ignore file to be your project name and then library, build, logs, etc. And
if we go back to the incident and hit the code button, strangely hidden there, the green code button, there you see Yeah, I always forget what that is. And what we want to do now is to clone. And clone is the term for like, okay, take this repository up on the internet and clone it to my local computer.
Okay.
So what you need is to copy that little link there.
Yeah, copied.
Okie dokie. And now we go into a Git client of your choice.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so if you look at the left bar there, there's the third from top. Yeah, source control. Source control. Boom. That's what we want.
Okay.
So there, this is the place. So clone repository is exactly what we want to do here, right? So
okay.
now you can just paste in exactly your link. And now is where you pick the local folder on your system where you keep your game from now on. So
I could just stick it here, I suppose, if it's.
Yeah, I guess so. Just anywhere that is under the hard drive, but not monitored by any like file.
Yeah,
sharing.
I think that'll be that.
So to save you facing issues that we have to troubleshoot, here's how you want to set up your files. Firstly, on your hard drive, wherever it is you want to place this folder, firstly create one called repositories, and then inside that is where you want to click select repository location. Then inside that resulting folder that it's created, which will be named after your repository, that is where eventually you'll paste a copy of your whole game into from wherever it is you're currently keeping it.
Okay, would you like to open the clone repository? Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. Do you trust the authors? Totally.
I trust myself. I trust
yeah,
myself against the earth.
You trust what we just did, the git ignore file.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you have it. You see in the left there in the Explorer, you have the git ignore file. So,
yeah.
So basically we have now a copy of the repository on your drive, and there's a copy up on GitHub.
Okay.
So cool. So what you can do now is we can maybe add, before we put your game inside this folder, we should get to know how it works a little bit. So maybe you can just add a text file here. So you see on the same line there, exactly, there you have a new file.
Yeah. So if I create a text file in kind of a text window or in here? Sorry.
You can do it right here. You can just say test.txt or something. Boom. And maybe write a little line there. Boom. Okay, so if you save that stuff,
is that now,
just save it, and now is where the magic happens. If you go into the source control thingy, you see there you can see that it marked up the test.txt. So it noticed that that's a new file, and that is something that wasn't there before, and something that I should push up to the server on your command.
Okay.
So here is where things get beautiful, but they also get a bit tricky, because you have to kind of understand some Git lingo. So you see the big commit button there?
Yeah.
So that means that you want to make all the changes you have in that list and say that, okay, I'm done with a small unit of work. Like I fixed a little something that I would say that, okay, all these fixes go together. And a commit is just like summarizing that and saying that this change is done.
Okay.
It doesn't talk to the server. It doesn't go out on the internet. It's just local.
Right. Okay.
And it could contain like 10 files, or it could be like one file in your case.
Okay. So,
and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry.
There's no stage changes to commit. Would you like to stage all? Okay. Let's hit cancel there. and start with just giving your commit a message. You see the message box on top there. This is if you're working in a team, you know, where we have to look at each other's commits, it makes a whole lot of sense to type something there, like you know, like change the walking speed in the game or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But if you're working by yourself, you can, if you're lazy like me, 99% of them is just a dot.
Okay.
But don't be like me, you know, type what you're doing there is better. So, okay, so I'm just testing. That's an excellent description. So if you hit commit now, I think, okay, staged. This is fine. So what it's saying now is, okay, you might have 10 changes in your change list, and your commit, maybe you only want to include like half of them in your commit, in which case you would need to stage half of them before hitting commit. Okay. But since we don't need that, you can just click yes here, so it will automatically now understand this. Make sure you configure your username and user email in Git. Oh, okay. That was that. Okay, interesting.
Okay, so I've left this error message in because you may well encounter the same issue.
We need to set up your GitHub credentials inside of VS Code, I think.
Okay.
All right.
Is that something to do in terminal, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's something, and you can probably execute that right from here. So, because you see there is a little terminal tab here right above where we are right now.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we probably, yeah, we definitely need to specify that.
Do I need to type all this out?
So yeah, you just want to go into the terminal section and write out what it says to write out in the output section as two separate commands. So that's one for your email and one for your username.
It worked.
Yeah. Excellent. Now it worked. Boom. Congratulations on your first commit, Adam.
Thanks.
We committed that change. And I would now want to ask you to go over to the GitHub source, yeah, exactly. If you go to code again, where boom, here, just exactly here. This is perfect. So you see the git ignore is still the only file here. I just want to let that sink in, that we haven't pushed up your test.txt yet.
Okay.
Just so you know, so all your changes are made locally. So commits are always local. So the server will never find out what's been done until we push them up, which we do with a command called push.
Okay.
So if you now want to like go back to your Visual Studio Code and you say that, okay, now I've done maybe 1 or 2 or 100 commits, and now I want to push them up to the server, then you use a command called push. Now Visual Studio makes this simple for us and has just combined push and pull, which is the opposite. Like push is saying like take all my commits and push them up to the internet, and pull means okay, take all the stuff that's up on the internet and pull them down to my computer. And sync is kind of a combined push and pull.
Okay, sure.
Which is great. So hit sync. Sync changes should take care of it. This actually push, pull, and push commits. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Refresh this page now, and we should see your file.
Yep, there it is.
I'm just testing, and if you open up test.txt, you have, of course, your content there.
Cool.
Yeah. So basically, this what we have gone through now is the super basics all the basics that you need in order to achieve our goals that we set out to do, like undo what we had and be able to jump back in like how did the code work 1 week ago or whatever. Now, if you're ready, we can delete this file and move your whole freaking game into this folder.
I'm ready.
Will be gitted. Okay. So first of all, let's okay, just one thing I want to mention before, because you will run into this. If you change something on test, so open up test.txt and change, like add one more line. Okay, good. Oh, that's a heavy vibe to it.
That's a whole story right there.
Yeah, very condensed. And of course, this file will soon, meet the end of its life. So if you now go to open up the third tab there, to the left there, your version control tab.
Yeah.
I just want to point out here that if you now commit is disabled because there's no changes in your list. Maybe when I'm looking at it, the UI actually takes care of this point for me. But if you save your test.txt now, so hit Control S there.
Yeah,
done. It should show up there. Yeah, there perfect. Now, okay, so this UI kind of hides the problems, which is very good, I suppose. But maybe it would be good to mention that if you check the list there, in the little commit button is also a drop-down list, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're hiding push and pull here and sync, which is awesome. So basically what I'm trying to say is you will not be able to hit sync unless all your changes are committed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. So if I was to say commit and sync, it commits first and then syncs, right? So okay.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is to me that could be kind of confusing when I was starting with this. Like, okay, I have I have changes, but I can't pull down code. But yeah, it requires like a clean slate before it communicates with the server.
Right. Okay.
But that's perfect. I think the UI here has come a long way because it really tells us what not to do.
Cool.
Okay, so let's delete that test.txt file.
Yeah.
Boom, shakalak.
Done.
Boom, and that's a change as well. So now we'll have to sync that change, so it will be deleted from the server as well.
Yeah.
Delete. Boom. Excellent. So now everything is committed, so we can sync our changes. Cool. And here you can hit no on that thing because you don't need that. Boom. So now it's deleted from the server as well. But when I say deleted, I should point out that the history is maintained.
Okay.
So if you tomorrow remembers that file was really important and what was it, you can always go back and have a look.
Yeah.
You see that it says 3 commits there. You can hit that and you can watch all of your commits.
Okay, sure.
And you can actually go into each commit and see what files were added and changed and deleted and everything. So it's all, your history is all there.
Yeah, okay.
Which is what allows you to roll back in the future should you want to.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready to move over the game?
I think so. Yep, I'm good. How do we do that?
Okay, so as mentioned earlier, this is where you just clone a copy of wherever your game currently is saved, and once you've done that, it will hopefully appear in VS Code as a list of thousands of uncommitted changes. And this version of the game is the one that you then want to open in Unity and use from now on.
Right, so should I commit this now and see what happens?
I'm going to say yes. First commit. Boom. There are no stage, yeah. So
when you do this for the first time, you are committing thousands of changes, so just be aware that this might take a while.
It's done. Should we press the sync button now?
I guess so.
Let's do it, man.
And again here, you'll first sync with all the changes to that folder, which is basically your entire game. Might take a fair while to back up to the cloud.
So while that's happening, let me just mention again quickly that right now you can head over to Steam and buy Pontus's awesome point-and-click adventure game, Justin Wack and the Big Time Hack. It's a funny, puzzly, time-travel-y adventure that I can heartily recommend. I have left a link to that below. You know what to do. So, in Visual Code, we have My Game and Git Ignore. And on the website version, we have My Game and Git Ignore.
Boom.
Boom.
That's more like it.
And I've opened the new version in Unity and it exists. I can play the game. So that's something.
Boom. Yeah. Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. This is awesome.
Cool. So what happens now?
So what happens now? Now we bask in the glory of Git. So now we just need to, we've been waiting a long time to just kind of get closure, right? And to really get the workflow in a context where you're used to working.
Yeah.
So so if you go to Unity now and have a look. And now, and let's start by going to VS Code and just see that everything is clean. We have nothing there. Perfect. So no changes, nothing, no uncommitted changes or anything.
All I did before the call was literally open this version in Unity, and here we are. So
yeah. Now, so that's awesome. So now all the hard part is done. So now it's all going to be super smooth from here on out.
awesome.
Okay, so now that it's done, so we've accomplished the first thing, right? So if your computer should now explode, the code is safe.
Okay.
That's good because it's up on GitHub. So now you can start playing around with this and see some of the benefits, some of the other benefits. So imagine you do something like me, like you select the set geometry node, for example, here.
Yeah.
And and select that whole parent node, set geometry. And then you slip of the finger, you delete that node. Go for it.
Do it.
So do it. For now, we're safe. From now on, you can do anything. All your files are monitored.
Okay. This still feels very weird to me to just delete the whole geometry.
I know, but I want you to get over the weirdness because now you're in Git's safe hands.
Okay, so delete that.
Boom. Awesome. And also, and you can hit save now, I guess, just to see that it's persisted in the scene. And also, why don't we open up some? Yeah, that's interesting that you switched over. So you can see that the Unity file there has been changed. And you can actually double click that now and see what has been changed. So there you see the textual representation of the Unity scene. Okay. And you can see what has been deleted.
Right.
And of course, we can do this from here now. You can just right click this entry, this change entry, and undo. So you can say discard changes. Yep, boom. And now you can jump back to Unity and all will be as it was. Reload. You have to reload the scene first.
Okay, boom.
There is your set geometry. So
awesome.
that's a big benefit, right? Because when Unity and AC was new to me, I was clicking stuff everywhere and things were disappearing and I didn't know what to do, and I was constantly checking with Git, okay, what did I mess up this time?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so that's a really nice benefit, just that. And also something really interesting is, like, if you open up, let's say you open up an action list or something. Like something.
Okay, just pick a simple one. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's not simple. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
They never tend to be simple, those lists.
Yeah. So this one is the most simple.
Yeah. Okay. So And now let's say you add a node here, and we will undo this too. So so let's say that that thing, yeah, that's fine. That this, yeah, we add a dialogue, the player saying something like testing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And now we save and we commit this change because we thought that this fixed a bug that we were struggling with.
Okay.
So enter a message and say like fixed bug.
I think I'm always going to forget to type that message. It seems like it's weirdly like like it should be prompt you here, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Get that in my head that I need to do that. Okay.
Yeah, that is a bit strange. So now we have one fix, and if you now we have it locally, right? Because you remember that commits were only local.
Yeah.
The server don't know about this yet. But if you hit the sync changes, we'll push that up. So let's do that. So now we're syncing. So now the server has seen this. So now your client and the server is synchronized.
Yeah.
And then, what's that?
That's done.
Yep, awesome. And then let's say in a week or so, you remember that, or you understand that, oh crap, that fix you didn't actually fix the problem. It just introduced a new problem or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So you would like to undo something that you've done in the past, that because the last thing we did was undo something that you hadn't even committed, right? And that we can do. I think we can definitely do it here from GitHub, but I bet we could also do it directly from Visual Studio.
Okay.
So and this here is where Visual Studio's Git functionality is a little bit limited. So I would probably recommend that you install an extension to Visual Studio, which will make this even more intuitive working from this client.
Okay.
So this is the last installment you need to do. So if you go to the far left bar there in the lower one, in number 4 there, no, above those extensions,
yeah.
If you go and type git, is it lens? I think.
Git lens.
Yes, the second one. Yes, that one. That thing I know integrates into the source control view. So if you
there we go.
Yeah, you can even click from the third one, the one that we're used to working on. So go up. So that
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here you have like history and everything. So and if you look at commits there, I think you should find. Yes, there you can see, if you give that just a little bit more space, exactly, here we can see, here's all your commits that you have done. Like the initial, I'm just testing, deleting, and all the stuff.
Yeah, so this is one we did a minute ago.
Exactly. And if you right-click that one, go, I want to revert this. So yeah, the second option there, revert commit. And reverting means basically, I like to undo that one.
Okay.
So yeah, let's try that. So, and what that has done is that it has now undid what we just done, and created a new commit.
Okay.
So so now if you go back to Unity now, that thing we added is gone again.
Load. Let me find that one, which was, yep, it's gone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this means that even if you like a month from now figure out that, I wish I didn't do that, you can always go back and just revert the ones you don't like.
Awesome. No, I can see that's really powerful.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, that's what we have seen now is, now you have all the basics you need. Now we have I think we have achieved what we wanted to do. You have the security of your machine being able to burn up without the game going missing, and you have the ability to just roll back in time.
Yeah.
You can cherry pick. What we did now, we cherry picked one, like I want to revert that one commit, but we can also reset, so we can say travel back in time and like revert everything up until that point.
I just saw that. If I like switch to commit, I guess, is that right? Am I just guessing that would be that?
I'm not sure. I think it's reset. Reset current branch to commit. Yes, the number 2.
Okay, right.
That would mean like undo everything until here.
Tell that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's a really nice workflow. Once you've gotten everything set up, now you're in the pit of success. You will be like surprised now that everything is kind of smooth. That you can always find everything that you committed, and you can always go back and forth.
With that, Pontus left me in the pit of success, having probably saved my game from accidentally disappearing off the face of the earth. Hopefully you're there too, and hopefully nothing went majorly wrong for you. If you like this way of learning, I've got some other teach-along tutorials on the channel about Unity and about Adventure Creator, as well as some 30+ making of devlogs about my own game. This channel's community Discord server is a great place to hang out if you're a fellow adventure game indie developer, so I will leave a link to that in the description right next to the link for my Patreon, which you can join if you're looking for fun and exciting new ways to dispose of your money. No worries if not, obviously, but maybe you'll watch another video and help give the algorithm a good nudge in my direction. Bye!